Hey guys, welcome to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. If you want to lose weight, increase your energy, improve your health and fitness, and look your best, then you have come to the right place. My name is Tyson Brown. I'm a personal trainer, and my job is to help you transform your body by sharing with you the most up-to-date information on health and fitness. I'm going to distill it all down for you into bite-sized actionable steps that you can take immediately to see results quickly. Now, every Tuesday and Thursday, you can expect a brand new episode, which will be a mixture of interviews with top experts from around the world in the fitness space, and as well as solo episodes from myself, sharing with you exactly what action steps you need to take to transform your health, your body, and your life. Also, don't forget to listen all the way to the end of the show, because in the middle, I'm going to share with you a time-saving tip, and it might just be a game changer. I know you're short on time, and this one can save you a lot of time and a lot of energy. So, let's get into the show. What is going on, guys? It is Tyson Brown here, and welcome to another episode of Tyson's Fitness Tips. Now, today I've got a really cool guest with me, and I've been following this guy for a while now, and one big thing that really resonated to me is when I read his About page. His About page says his goal is to positively impact the lives of 1 million people. That is a really big goal and a massive achievement when you're going to be able to reach that. And that's why I wanted to bring him on today, because it's such a powerful message that he wants to deliver to people. And I thought, you know what? I can help him help more people. So that's why I wanted to bring him on. So Michael, thanks I really appreciate you coming on today. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the fitness journey you've been on so far?
Yeah, first of all, Tyson, thanks for having me. Really grateful to be here. Thanks for the intro. 1 million people was the goal. It's been the goal 4 years ago. I remember like it was yesterday. I was in my mom's basement with an iPhone in a dream, and she was like, "Yeah, right." And people told me, "Yeah, right." And I became vulnerable, and I hit publish. And if you guys know YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/Morelli Fit, and you can see that very first video back 4 years ago. I was wobbling back and forth, and I decided to push publish. I decided to put myself out there when nobody was watching, made a great big vision, a great big goal. In 4 years of consistency, dedication, persistence, and patience has led me to help about a quarter of those people directly. So 250,000 people through direct products, programs, and sales, and who knows how many millions more through our social reach. And we're getting ready to launch a book. I wrote a book, a culmination of 4 years, 6 certifications, lots of mentors, called The Sweet Potato Diet, which gets ready to hit the shelves April 4th. So we're really excited. We're very focused on this project because I believe that it's the sweet potato diet, which is a carb cycle and a really simplistic way to drop body fat fast. I mean, 14 pounds in 11 days, 17 pounds in 21 days. I've got a guy who lost 100 pounds in less than a year, and now he's a personal trainer and a coach. So lots of inspiration surrounding the book, lots of momentum surrounding the book, and we're getting ready to launch in a big way here in New York City.
Wow. 250,000 people in direct sales already. So you're really a quarter of the way there, which is amazing. And now you've got this book coming out, so you don't like how many more impact you're actually going to help with people. It's awesome. And so just about that book, Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit more about it? So what exactly, like the sweet potato diet. Now, I love sweet potatoes, and I track my food every day. So I actually eat about 400 grams of sweet potatoes every day, and that's how much I love them. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the sweet potato diet, because I want to hear it.
Yeah, so a couple years ago, I was experimenting with carb cycling. Mind you, I've tried Atkins and low calorie and low carb. I've tried everything. And 4 years ago, I made the decision to clean up my diet. I went from heavily processed to less processed, and now to a much more whole foods diet. But about a couple years ago, I was experimenting with carb cycling. And if you know what carb cycling is, or if you don't know what carb cycling is, I should say, it's basically manipulating your carbohydrate sources from high to low throughout a 7-day span, so that your body, your metabolism, never has an opportunity to adapt to the conditions you impose on it. Meaning, if you know somebody that cut calories way down low because they wanted to drop body fat, they're at 1,000 calories or 1,500 calories, and they lose weight at first, but all of a sudden they flatline. They're eating well below their total daily energy expenditure, yet they still flatline. Well, what's the problem? I mean, I should be losing weight, right? Well, that's where the metabolism kicks in. It stalls because it's adapted to 1,500 calories, and so you plateau. This diet simplifies carb cycling down to the sweet potato. So you're literally using your fists, your hands as measurement tools. You can literally take this anywhere to cycle your carbohydrates through a 7-day feeding schedule to really drop body fat. Now, here's the kicker, right? You raise the metabolic furnace. You feed yourself sort of a high carb on day 1, for example. Rev up that metabolism. The following day, you're going to slash your carbohydrates low. You're going to be in a little bit of a caloric deficit. Fat burning takes over. You're burning the stored fat. And we continue to cycle this. Now, I've got 3 cycles in the book, all the way from quick fire to inferno. And like I've said, people are experiencing crazy, crazy success. And I think really, and you asked me a question before we got on, or I saw it in your message, the roadblocks and the barriers people face. Diets and the information that's coming in is too confusing. It's coming from too many sources. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what the first step is. This diet is really simple, and I believe that's why people are having so much success with it.
So this is like the initial stepping stone to really get people started. Like you said, it's very, very simple for us to go and follow this, like the sweet potato diet, and it's just easier to implement. Now, you said people, like one day you do really high carbs and one day you do really low carbs. For people who haven't tried that, what type of energy can they expect over those days when they do have the low carbs? Is it going to be very low, or is it because you've had the higher carbs in the day earlier you're going to feel better? What's your experiences and people's experiences been like?
Yeah, so everybody's different, and I get that question a lot. Some people feel a lag in energy. Others carry over the extra carbs from the previous day. It all also depends on how much brain power you expend. We don't realize that oftentimes when we're tired, it's not us that's tired, it's actually our brain that's tired. And so it's a matter of getting the other macronutrients right, because on low carb days, you're going to increase your fats a little bit, right? And so you're going to get your energy from the fats, and that'll push you forward.
Right. Okay. So it's all going to depend on the person.
So you're still going to get your energy. So you're still going to get your energy source.
Yep.
It's just we're just gonna manipulate from high to low, and when carbs are high, fats are low, and when fats are high, and carbs are low. So you're still getting, you're still backed by some of that energy.
Okay. And when it comes to, let's say we're talking about consuming fats, what are some, what are your favorite types of fats to consume, Michael, that you would recommend people have?
Yeah, so quality oils. I'm a stickler for oils. We go into restaurants. We oftentimes don't know what they cook with. And over here in America, they're using cheap oils. They're using canola oil, vegetable oil, soy oil, corn oil. And those are absolutely detrimental. I mean, I don't suggest any of those types of oils. I always ask for, olive oil, just because I know it's something that they have at restaurants pretty readily. But avocado oil, olive oil at low temperatures, coconut oil, and even some grass-fed butter is a really good source of healthy fat.
Okay, wow. That was so a couple of things there that we can really start to consume. But with our oils, we don't want to be consuming too much. Is that right? Or am I getting a little bit confused there? Because I like to consume a lot of my fats from nuts and avocados as opposed to using oil, because oil is such a calorie-dense thing. How do you like to do that?
Yeah, so those are the other two, right? Macadamia nuts, almonds, cashews are the top few nuts. And then avocados, of course, all in the group of just really solid fats. Even olives, right, are really solid choices. So I don't necessarily vary oils over avocados. It's just an interesting sort of topic, because people think a lot of people still think like oil is oil, but it's the difference in the quality of the oils is really what I wanted to stress there. But yeah, oils are very calorically dense. And it's important to make sure it's easy to drop in some extra oil or some more butter. So, in the book, we guide you, and the oil is actually measured by the size of your thumb. So we actually, protein is the size of your palm, carbohydrates is the size of your fist, vegetables is the size of your fist, and then the size of your thumb is how you measure fats. So we've got it all laid out for you.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's a really, really cool tip that I just want to go back over with you guys. So what you're going to learn in this book is how to use your hands to pretty much determine how much you're going to eat at each meal. And it's really, really applicable, like you just said. Protein the size of your palm, carbs and veggies the size of your fist, and fats the size of your thumb. Like, that is really implementable for you guys to be able to use. And, you can try it for your breakfast this morning or try it for your lunch. Is this for every meal too, Michael?
Absolutely. So there's 3 meals and 2 snacks. The foods are laid out. So here's the other thing that so there's 45 recipes in this book, Tyson. I'm talking sweet potato brownies, sweet potato chocolate chip cookies.
Oh my God.
We've got bacon wrapped, listen to this, sweet potato wrapped in bacon. So bacon wrapped sweet potatoes with like a sweet glaze over them. We've got pancakes and waffles. We've got loaded sweet potatoes with pulled pork. I mean, the recipes are insane. In fact, I'm going to put a copy in the mail to you. Not only are you able to go and grab a piece of meat or a piece of or a starch or a fist of veggies, but we're actually going to teach you how to eat brownies on this, right? So everything is calculated using using your fist, but then we bring that in and say, okay, you can have this. This counts for 1 fist of your carbohydrate, your sweet potato. This counts for 1 serving of fat. So we actually teach you how to eat like brownies and waffles in this thing.
Wow, I'm so excited to get my hands on this book.
Oh, it's legit.
It's just got me so interested. Why did you decide that you had to make this, Michael? Like this seems so easy and actionable for people to implement. Is it because you couldn't find something like this for yourself, or like what is the reasoning behind this book?
Yes, that's exactly right. There's so many diets out there, and they never worked. And maybe that's my own ignorance. Maybe I just wasn't ready. But I felt like we really needed to simplify something. I deal with so many people, and the common denominator is, most of the time they don't see results fast enough, so it's a lack of motivation. So my job is to create something that is going to ignite fat loss right out of the gate and create some momentum for them, and then make it simple enough for them to be able to follow so that they can keep moving forward. We've removed the barriers. We've simplified it. You can go to a restaurant. You've got your hands with you. So as long as you've got your hands, you can take them with you, and you can really eat on this anywhere you go.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad this is actually coming out, because it's going to make it more. I think that's, like you said, the biggest struggle is people not even knowing how to look at portion sizes, and you break that down really, really easily.
Yeah, we break it down, and like I said, there's 3 different specific carb cycles that I put together. They're 30-day cycles that you can actually use and rotate. And this has become a lifestyle now for thousands of people. If you search the hashtag sweet potato diet, you're going to find people raving about this because they're having so much success. I keep going back to that. And it's still surreal that I've actually got a book out that is, changing thousands and potentially hundreds of thousands. And, the goal again is millions of lives. And I think this is the book that does that for us. That this is the book that pushes us over the edge.
Okay, and so we can actually go to, I've got a website here, the sweetpotatodiet.com is where people can come and pick up the free meal sample too, you said?
Yeah, so if you go to sweetpotatodiet.com, there's a 3-day sample meal guide. It's a simple cycle. I've broken it down for you. There's actually a few recipes that we give you, and then there's a couple of exclusive recipes that I'll actually email you in a couple of days' time once you download that guide that are not in the book. And let me tell you, hint is one of them is a sweet potato hummus. You ever have hummus before?
No, I've had hummus, but not a sweet potato hummus.
It is so good, Tyson. It is so good. So we send you that. It's not in the book. And of course, that's the way that I'll continue to communicate with you and, leading up to the launch of this book.
Oh my gosh. I'm actually looking at the front cover of your book right now. I can see the potato with the bacon. Oh, it just looks so good.
Oh, it is. It is. I can't wait to get your feedback on it.
Yeah, it'd be great. So now that we've covered the source of nutrition, let's talk a little bit about the fitness side of things. Now, what are the biggest challenges you think people face on the fitness perspective? So whether it be not having enough time, not doing enough exercises, doing too much, what is a common approach you get from people?
a lot of people still lack motivation. And I think it's, they're doing training. They're not quite sure if it's the right training, but they're doing something, and maybe their diet isn't dialed in, so they don't get the results that they're after. And so then the training becomes mundane and boring, and they don't really know if it's working, and then it's not working. And so they give up. And, I also see people who have never worked out before are a little intimidated. They have fears and those roadblocks to sort of get out of the way. But I'll tell you, again, a very simple approach, right? And for somebody that's just starting out, we have to keep it really, really simple. The sweet potato diet is going to do all the magic. I mean, that's going to do the work. That's going to do the heavy lifting. Inside the sweet potato diet is some body weight training.
Oh.
I encourage people. I encourage people, honestly, Tyson, on this diet to initially not worry about training at all, to just go and do something they love, go on a walk, shoot some hoops, play tennis, run around with the kids, walk the dog. Like, the diet is going to do the heavy lifting. I promise that. And then once you see some results from the diet, you'll start to feel good. You're doing some body weight training in your living room. Now you say, oh my gosh, I could take this to the gym. I could do a little bit more. And then it continues, and then the lifestyle, and then pretty soon you're living this and it becomes habit.
Okay, cool. So you actually focus more on the diet more than anything else because it's the most important thing, right? That's where people are going to get the biggest results. A lot of people think they can just train and work hard, but they don't realize that. I like to tell my clients that nutrition is about 80% of your results.
I would 1,000% agree with you. It is. And I'm not saying training is not important, and I'm not saying that it doesn't create vitality and that it's not going to add years to your life, some quality years to your life. But if you don't have the nutrition component, the training isn't going to create the visible results that I think people go for naturally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
train hard. Like, I love training. I love it. And we've got HIIT programs, and I've got custom training programs, and we've got, programs to put mass on. We cover it all. I just think it's important to really understand the diet piece. And when you throw training and diet at somebody who's never done either right out of the gate, I think, you set them up for failure. When you're like, all right, you got to do these exercises, you got to do reps, sets, here's your rest time, here's the exercises, you've never done those before, but I want you to do those, and now I want you to meal prep, and I want you to, cook with these oils, and I want you to use and eat these fats. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, and like, I need to take you on this journey, and I need to slow it down for you. I need to simplify it for you because I want you to get to the end of it. And I know that in order to get you to the end of it, I've got to take it slow for certain people, and I've got to meet you halfway. And I believe this book does that.
Awesome. And I like your approach there because that's what I got taught with, with my clients. It's not throwing everything like in the kitchen sink at you at once and saying, let's do it all. Focus on one thing for 2 weeks and then move on to something else. So even if you guys thought, okay, I need to take action, I need to get healthy, I need to lose weight, I need to just pick one thing, which would be nutrition first because it's going to make the biggest difference, and focus on that. And then you can start incorporating exercise. But if you can't even improve your nutrition for 2 weeks, then it's just going to be way harder if you try and add more and more into that.
Yeah, one action. Let's face it, people have trouble making one change and creating one new habit. Why throw 3, 4, 6, 10 at them at once? Let's keep it really simple and break down the walls and the barriers, build trust, and walk through it.
Absolutely. It's time for another episode of Tyson's Time Savings Tips. Guys, this one is around nutrition, and I have found this to be such a great time saver for me when it comes to going food shopping. So, one thing that you always have to do is create a shopping list, right? You always have to write down exactly what you need. Well, what I've actually done is I've created one big note that has down what my key ingredients are always going to be. So most of the time, you will buy the exact same things because you enjoy them, right? There might be a protein source like chicken, or it might be some type of vegetable that you favor. But whatever you find yourself buying on a constant basis, make that one big shopping list that you can use from. So that way, every time you go in there, you can have a quick check off in there and see if you need it or not. And that way you're saving yourself time and mental energy instead of having to always go back and have a look. Okay, do I need this? Do I need that? And then you've got to note it all down. But if you've got a whole list there for your protein sources, for your vegetable sources, for your carbohydrate sources, it gives you a quick reminder, because there is nothing worse than getting home from the grocery store and thinking, shit, I forgot this, I've got to go all the way back. But if you've got that whole list out there on your phone, and every time you go in, you can just say, okay, oh yeah, I do need this. You just put a little check mark next to what you need and what you don't need. That way you're going to be saving yourself so much time, mental energy, and you're not going to be forgetting those things at the food store, because that has been one of the biggest game changers for me in regards to having to sit down every single Sunday or Wednesday and check what foods do I need, what foods do I not need, and having me constantly think about it, because it's so easy for something to slip your mind. But if you have that master list there, I promise you it's going to make it so much more easier and time efficient. So make a master list, think about all the things you usually buy on a weekly basis, have it in one big note on your notes on iPhone, and it's going to be so much easier. Now let's get back into the episode. Okay, so if we're talking about nutrition then, Michael, let's say, how about you give us an idea, what could be one simple actionable step we could implement starting tomorrow for, let's say, breakfast? What could be a good breakfast that we could choose?
So if I was doing breakfast tomorrow, breakfast looks like a sweet potato the size of my fist. I'm going to slice it really thin, or I'm going to cube it. I'm going to toss it in a pan with probably some coconut oil. I like my sweet potatoes crispy. Then I'm going to drop in a few eggs, whole eggs. The yolks aren't going to hurt you, despite what people think. The yolks are actually where all the nutrients are. I'm going to potentially toss in some greens. Sometimes I don't get greens in the morning, but you should. So I like Brussels sprouts. So, I do like some Brussels sprouts, but choose your greens, right? And that pretty much rounds out a quick, simple breakfast. I want to take your question and expand it a little bit further, because it's like, I know we were talking about the one action item above everything. Like, trust me, guys, right? Trust me on this. The one action, if you take nothing else from this, give me 7 days. Take all of your carbohydrates, processed, all of them. I'm talking your processed stuff. I'm talking your starches, and replace them with the sweet potato. White, orange, purple. There's Japanese sweet potatoes, right? It doesn't matter what sweet potato you choose, but replace all of your carbohydrates with sweet potatoes. Change nothing else but that. And in 7 days, you are going to feel better cognitively. Your body composition is going to change relatively quickly, and you're going to see why I chose the sweet potato and why this diet is so special.
I love it, because, guys, this is actually where most of my carbohydrates come from. It's sweet potato. But I want to give you guys one quick tip, is that don't just choose the orange. Like Michael said, there's so many other options out there, purple, white, and what I actually discovered is that if you eat too much sweet potato, too much carrots, and too much pumpkin, your hands actually turn orange from all the beta carotene. So always change it up, because they've all got little bits of different nutrient profiles in there too. So purple sweet potato, white, orange, try it all, see which one's your favorite, and then go from there.
Yes. That's really good. And I'm surprised, like, you're spot on with that. They all have different nutrient profiles, right? Which gives you some variance, and just a really good superfood that I don't think people are aware of. It fights the free radicals that are known to cause cancer. Not to mention it's full of fiber, and it's very satiating, which wards off hunger and keeps you fuller longer. It's pretty affordable and readily available. So, it's just a powerhouse. It really is.
Absolutely, and one of the best tasting powerhouses of that too.
I would agree with you. And what do you put? Do you ever put like cinnamon? You ever put like cinnamon on them?
Okay, so here's what I do. At the moment, I've got a little bit of a roast veggie kick. So every day I'll cut up my sweet potato, pour it over some oil, and then I'll sprinkle a little bit of sea salt and some cinnamon. Shake it all up so it covers the whole thing. Put a little bit more, I love my cinnamon, so I'll put a little bit more cinnamon on there, and then a little bit of turmeric powder actually. So that way the turmeric's combined with the fats and the carbohydrates, and I'll put that in the oven for about for an hour on 150 degrees Celsius. So I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but they come out nice and crisp and crunchy, and oh my god, it tastes amazing.
Dude, are you spying on me?
I've been following you, mate. I'm telling you what.
Listen, on last night, it's so funny you said turmeric. last night. So my favorite way right now, I'm on a roasted veggie kick too. Really funny you mentioned that. I like to slice up beets, and I like to slice up sweet potatoes as thin as I possibly can. I lay them on a pan. I douse them in either olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado oil, sea salt on top, or like a pink Himalayan salt. I'm massaging them, really getting into it, and then either I'll do cinnamon and turmeric, or I'll do like a little cayenne and turmeric. But again, in the oven, nice and crispy, they come out. And sometimes I put a little hot sauce on them. But I mean, oh my goodness.
I know, right? Absolutely. One of my clients gave me a really cool tip, guys, that I want to share too. Crush up some garlic and mix it with your oil and then put it on there. Apparently it tastes, I haven't tried it yet, but I've got to give it a go. I love garlic.
You gotta let me know what that is.
Just stay away from your friends after you eat too much.
For sure.
Also, Michael, just a quick question. In this sweet potato diet book, have you put sweet potato in your shake before? Because I put cooked sweet potato with my shake, like blended it up with some cinnamon. Wow.
Yeah. So you puree it almost.
Yes.
We actually have. Let me see if I can flip to the page really quick. We have a dessert in here. It's a parfait.
Ooh.
It's see if I can get to the recipe really quickly on the dessert side. We have so much stuff in here. I'm just flipping through. We've got enchiladas. We've got fried sweet potato rice. We've got lemon garlic sweet potato chicken, rustic pork chops. I mean, you name it. It's like, oh, here it is. The sweet potato parfait. It's basically pureed sweet potato, little maple syrup, organic maple syrup, little cinnamon, some ground cardamom, a little bit of Greek yogurt, fat-free, and a little bit of protein. It sets it off.
Okay, very cool. There you go, guys. So if you want a nice dessert too, you can go and definitely pick up that book. Now, we've been speaking a lot about this food and it's getting me hungry, but I want to shift a little bit away because we're talking about all this health and fitness stuff and people look at us and they're like, oh, well, it's easy for you guys, right? But why don't you share with us? So I always like to ask you guys, what was your, over the coming years, what has been some big health and fitness struggles that you might have faced over the years? Like, what's one big thing that stood out?
The big thing that stood out for me is the plethora of information, like having to like sift through it and finding somebody that I could trust. It was really hard to latch on because it was always somebody was always saying something different, and the person always had the latest and greatest diet and the thing that was going to finally work. And because I had tried so many things, I started to get discouraged. And if you look back 5 years ago or so, I was really unhealthy. I had given up, 185 pounds, 6% body fat, and down and out. I mean, I was in rough shape. And so I think, it's having to sift through the plethora of information to find somebody you can really trust, because I think we've all been burned, right, Tyson? I mean, we've all bought programs, downloaded things, didn't get what we paid for, thought we were going to get something and didn't, said, we were told we were going to be met halfway and motivated and held accountable. And then, it's like they got our money and they disappear.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's been like over the years. This is why I also became personal, because I wanted to be able to sift through that BS and just give people implementable, actionable items, which is what we're doing on this podcast today, and that's why I brought you on. So far, we have got changing all of your refined carbohydrates and starchy carbs and swapping them for sweet potatoes for 7 days. We have got also talking about increasing our motivation by just getting started with a diet first and just focusing on one thing. Now, what's one other thing you would recommend people do?
Well, I want to reiterate. So you meant, the last question was sort of another piece that I was thinking through as you asked that. The other thing too, I think that's a struggle for a lot of us is who we're hanging out around with. We have fitness goals, or we create fitness goals or financial goals or goals in general. And then the people that are closest to us aren't leading a similar lifestyle. And so, the reality is, and it's a harsh reality, and I love people. I've got friends that I had to leave behind. Like, you're the average, Tyson, of the 5 people you hang out with most. Like, it just is that. And right, wrong, or indifferent, it just, be selective with who you spend your time with. These people that you're spending most of your time with should lift you up. They should have, common goals. They should be striving for better, because, just think, right? If everybody around you is striving for better, what are you naturally going to do?
You're always going to strive for better.
You're always going to strive for better.
So I think we really need to think about the people we surround ourselves with on a daily basis.
Absolutely. My time is precious. I've got a family. I've got kids. My family gets most of my time. And I'm very selective with the little bit of time that I have. I'm very, very selective because I can't spend time like I would like to with everybody every single day. And so it's just being very, very selective and having that awareness to surround yourself and look for people that are after the win-win and that are going to support you as you move forward and progress in life.
Absolutely. Wow. I really think you guys can implement those 3 things, and they're so simple. Like, number 1, cut out the crappy carbs and just swap for sweet potatoes. Like, you can go and do that today. Number 2 is to make sure that you look at, just sit back, like take 5-10 minutes and just think about who is supporting you toward your goals and who is not supporting you. Like, are there people who are telling you, oh, you can't lose weight, or no, don't worry about that? Like, do you actually need to surround yourself with those people? Absolutely not. Now, you don't have to cut them completely out, but just reduce the amount of time as much as you can with those people, because they're not going to serve you in the best way possible. And then you want to make sure that you are honestly changing one thing at a time and just focusing on that one thing for a certain amount of time. If you have to get started, start with diet and then go from there. Anything else you'd like to add to those 3 things, Michael?
Yeah, Gary Keller wrote an incredible book called The One Thing, and it's really just a book on focus, and it's asking the question when you get up. It's like, what's the one thing I can do, such that by doing it, it makes everything else easier or unnecessary. And you can plug in whatever you want in it makes my health easier. It makes my ability to train easier. It makes my ability to lose fat easier. You see what I'm saying? So you can plug anything in there, but it's really just, more often than not, the world it's just a lack of focus. It's not that you don't necessarily know what to do. It's that there's too much. And it's really honing in and focusing on the one thing that you can leverage the most to create the biggest impact the fastest, so that you can use the momentum to speed up the process, because we all like to see results. We all like the momentum. And when we have positive momentum, there is no telling what we can achieve.
I absolutely love it. Michael, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing all this awesome, simple, actionable information, and also sharing with us this amazing, yummy book that's coming out that I can't wait to get my hands on. So
yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So where can people find out more about you? Like, where can we learn about, apart from the sweetpotatodiet.com, where else can we go and find you?
Yeah, so I am everywhere on social media at Morelli Fit. I'll spell it for you really quick. MORELLI and then Fit, FIT. It's MorelliFit.com. It's Morelli Fit on YouTube. It's Morelli Fit on Instagram. We've got a number of pages on Instagram. Say hi. Leave me a comment. Let me know that you came from this podcast specifically. I'll take really, really good care of you. And, for us, it's about getting you to the next level. I mean, plain and simple. People ask me, what do you do? And I say, I have made it my personal responsibility to take people to the next level. Sometimes that means health. Sometimes that means in training. Sometimes that means mindset. But all in all, it's about taking people to the next level. And I think we share that common goal. And I think that's why we're here having this conversation.
Awesome. That is so cool. Thank you so much, Michael. Guys, I'm going to put all of the stuff in the podcast show notes. So make sure you go over to the website and check it out. Make sure you go to sweetpotatodiet.com to pick up your 3 recipes, and that way you can get an idea about how good this book is going to be and how much you're going to start loving sweet potatoes.
Yeah, it's actually a 3-day sample meal plan. So they actually get a 3-day carb cycle that they can continue to repeat if they'd like. So it's all there for them.
There you go. It's all free.
And 3 recipes.
3 recipes, 3-day meal plan, all free. Go to the website and pick it up. Guys, that is another episode done and dusted. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to all of you guys in the next episode. See ya. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. Before you go, can you please do me a massive favor and share this podcast with one friend or family member who you think would benefit from listening? All you have to do is open up your podcast app, click on those 3 dots next to the episode and click on share episode. Then you can text or email it to that friend or family member and tell them to check it out. Also, if you guys want to connect with me, I'm on all social media platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want to find me, it's at TysonBPT. TysonBPT. Also, if you guys like the podcast, please go to iTunes and leave me a rating. This helps me get up the rankings and it also helps other people find me so I can help them improve their health and fitness. Once again, thanks for listening and I'll see you on the next episode.